Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla.
Hey, I couldn't really hear anything. I don't know if you muted or not.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
You got start over?
All right. I'm sorry. I was muted. I didn't even know I was muted. All right, y'all. So what's up? Good evening, everybody. This is The Faith Factor with CommendableK, my co-host. Today is Tuesday, February 2nd, and it is 9:36 in Phoenix and 8:36 in Las Vegas. What's up, everybody? How you doing? All right, tonight I'm going to discuss a couple of articles that I ran across today. It's really bad. It's bad out here, y'all. You know, yesterday I talked about the Great Bomb Rebellion, and I hypothesized, when I put emphasis on the word hypothesize, that the reason why a lot of Black women are getting beat up, killed, and everything else under the sun is because there are bummy Black men who have been conditioned to think that they have right to the access to Black women's bodies and our resources. And now that Black women are leveling up and choosing better and not choosing the bombs anymore, you now have what you call the great uprising, the great rebellion of the bombs. I said this yesterday, and I put emphasis on bombs. Bombs, right? But for some reason or another, when I say bombs, the so-called decent men come out of the woodworks and they want me to say, not all, Faith, not all. Don't put us all, don't lump us all in there. I said bombs. Why are you so-called decent men hollering the loudest? When I say bombs, no decent man should be running up saying anything on behalf of the bombs I'm talking about. But sure as shit stinks, they come and they do it anyway. The so-called decent ones want to come and plead the case for all Black men. And nobody said all. I'm talking about bombs. Now I kind of understand how Cynthia G feels when she talks about beta male coons and all the so-called decent Black men come running up hollering, not all. Don't talk about all of us. She talking about all us Black men. When I say bombs, you say what? What are you guys saying? CK, what's up? What's up, CK?
The word bomb is a dog whistle, and a lot of those dogs are coming when they hear about it. That's the reason why they're trying to defend all Black men or want you to talk about a number, all or how many was the percentage, is because they are actually bums. See, online with Avatar, with a video camera, even if you're cammed up, you can appear to be a decent, upstanding person. But what you're doing is using the word bum, dog whistle, and the dogs come running, and they come with the clown talk. So it's really good that you're doing a part 2 tonight, so the bums or the people who are not bums can come and try to defend, deflect, and change the subject. Should be a lot of that. Should be very interesting. And, thank you for having this stream.
No problem, no problem. Because I think that, there needs to be a distinction here. Because there are very good, upstanding black men, like the black man that went to his woman's defense and got shot right along with the young lady that was killed. Now, he wasn't a bum. I'm talking about the bum that shot her. Hey, what's up, D. Darrell? That's my brother D. Darrell down there in the chat, y'all. Yeah, so when I say bum, shouldn't no decent men be coming up speaking on behalf of the decent men in the community that I'm not talking about? I'm not talking about y'all. Why are you triggered? Why is bum, beta male coon, and all of this trigger words for decent black men? I don't get it. But at any rate, I told you guys yesterday, didn't I? I told you all yesterday that this is an epidemic. And everybody came running up in here saying, no, it's not an epidemic. No, it's just a few isolated instances. Black women are not under attack. There's no civil war against black women. Yet every day, here come another news article, and guess who done got hurt? Guess who getting killed? Black women at the hands of bummy black men. Now notice the word bum before I put black men, because I know not all black men are doing this. I said the bummy black men. That's the reason why I entitled my video yesterday, The Great Bum Rebellion. Because decent black men are not doing this, okay? The decent black men like the D. Darrells, the CommendableKs, guys like this that, have access to resources and they don't have to, go so low to get women. These are not men that are out here doing this. These are bummy black men doing this. So before y'all start putting your cape on, I see a whole bunch of y'all about to run to the closet and start dusting off the cape. Oh my God, here she go bashing black men. Let me go get my Captain Save 'em cape. B1 Brigade in the house. Pro-black for your ass. Here we come. The pro-black B1 Brigade. No, not all faith. Not all faith. Y'all about to start doing karate chops and everything else up in here. And I'm talking about bombs. Who in their right mind windmills for the bombs of society? See, this is where we got to get our priorities together. I cannot, in good faith, keep messing around with y'all and y'all steady out here windmilling for the wrong team. Now, when I see a decent black man get erroneously accused of something, that's when I throw my cape on and be like, no, not that brother. That's a good upstanding brother right there. Like the brother that Amber Geiger shot down in cold blood. That was a decent brother that was innocent, okay? Now I would windmill all day for a brother like that, because he didn't deserve to die. But when I talk about this great bomb rebellion, this epidemic, this war on black women, I'm talking about these bombs out here. These bombs are mad. Let me illustrate to you how it go down. CK, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
We was talking about earlier, we were going to do a skit to show just how the Manosphere indoctrinates their members. Remember?
I did remember us talking about it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna pretend like I'm the head of the Manosphere, and you be one of these bum ass niggas that I'm talking about.
Okay.
All right, y'all. This is how it look. This how it look. Hold on. Let me see. Let me get my deep voice on. Let me. All right. Hear ye, hear ye. This is the Great Manosphere Roundup, and we're here to induct new members. I see a young gentleman over here by the name of Benjamin. Benjamin, why don't you tell me your story and why I should induct you into the Great Manosphere?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am Brother Benjamin, and I am here to tell you my story. Thank you for having me.
All right, Benjamin. What exactly brought you here to the Manosphere, my brother?
Well, I was doing really well, and then all of a sudden a woman decided that she didn't want to be submissive. I'm paying all the bills. I'm making over six figures, making seven figures, got a long peen, got all my ducks in a row. But lo and behold, this unsubmissive woman decided that not only is she not going to bow down to her gang, but she's going to tell me that she wants to have her needs taken care of. And I told her the only needs that she needs to have taken care of is putting her mouth on her king's wood. And the fact that she blew me off and decided that because I lied a little bit about how much money I made, lied a little bit about how my body looked, I'm a little heavier, but she should be submissive either way because she needs to be submissive to her king. And that's what brings me here is because this heifer decided that me cheating and lying was not good enough for her. And I told her, you think you better than me? And she told me that not only is she better than me, but she needs to be treated like a lady. And I'm here because these unsubmissive women in America, we got to get rid of them. So thank you for having me here.
Oh, brother, you know these bitches are so entitled. They're so entitled. How dare she, brother? Welcome over to the Manosphere. Let me ask you a few questions, my brother. Okay. Um. First of all, was this a black woman?
You know it, all black women is the same. They all alike, all of them.
Yes, brother. They are the devil. Yes, they are. And brother, was this a black American woman?
She was definitely a black American woman. They all look alike, they all act alike. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
I can't stand these American bitches. Last but not least, brother, was she a dark skinned woman?
Matter of fact, she was dark-skinned. And you know what? I could only do light-skinned from now on because light-skinned has got to be better than dark-skinned. How did you know that she was dark-skinned and black and American? Well, she wasn't really that dark, but she was dark enough.
Brother, all these black American bitches ain't shit. You passed the initiation. You hit all of the marks for what it takes to become part of the great manosphere. Welcome, my brother. Here is your manosphere patch. I need you to sew this on the back of your jeans. But
Make sure you sew it on the right side because the left side is for something else. But welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you for welcoming me here. I heard that I'm going to be in the Manosphere and now I get to have me a dog. I need me a dog and a cartoon for me to pleasure myself with because I no longer want no women. Matter of fact, I only want to hang around the boys.
Well, you know what? You're part of the boys club, and we're happy to have you on our team. We have a fine group of men here that will be more than happy to help you get acquainted with our sex doll collection. And also, we will be more than happy to get you acquainted with some of our how can I say, unique image consultants. Now, don't be alarmed by the feathers on the shoes or anything, because those are manly feathers. You know, and this is a manly merce. You can't be part of the Manosphere unless you have gotten your merce. Brother, do you have your merce ready?
I love me some feathers. I cannot wait for the sleepover. Mm. And I also cannot wait to get knee deep in some of these panels with all these men. Last one in gets a towel spanking.
That's the spirit. Brother, I need you to go over here. We're going to get you signed up for your passport. We say, fuck these American black bitches. We go and we get the dirty foot bitches from over in Brazil. Even though some of them kind of fat too, but we're going to pay the prostitutes and make them tell us that they love us, and we're going to videotape the whole thing and show it to everybody, okay?
Even though I don't like a dark-skinned woman, I love dark-skinned feet, especially when I can lick the dirt off. I'm in heaven. Mm.
All
Sign
right,
me up.
brother. Well, you can take the feet looking some that's all you. But all right, next. Okay, brother. Let's see here. It says that you had a little bit of trouble with your mother, and you're coming here to the Manosphere because you're homeless and you're looking for some help. Is that correct, brother?
Uh, Absolutely. I am definitely woke and ready to be progressive. Yes, I had mom problems. I cannot stand that whore. I cannot stand her. Yes.
Why did your mother put you out of the house?
I guess she was tripping when I was wearing her clothes. Whore, you need to learn to share more. Anyway, I am here for the Manosphere. Pom-poms ready. I am woke. I am progressive. Progressive and woke. Yeah.
Sir, are you wearing any pants?
Uh, I'm I'm wearing capris. These are the newest things. Yes. The capri pants. Yes.
Okay. Let me go ahead and ask you the questions anyway. Is your mother a black woman?
Yes, this is a black woman, just like me. I mean, yes, she's a black woman. Yes.
Yeah. Is she an American black woman?
Like, yeah, she is definitely a part of the stage, like me. Flag for everybody, peace sign, yeah.
Uh, um, uh, is she dark skinned?
Yeah, she is the opposite of my booty hole. Yeah, she's nice and dark. Yeah.
Well, you sound kind of well, anyway, you hit all the check marks. So, okay, welcome to the Manosphere. You hit all the check marks, brother. Do you have access to a passport?
Yes, I have access to passport. I stay getting passed around. Bring on the men of the manosphere. I'm nice and woke. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, you're in. You're in. You hit all the check marks. You're in too. Uh, um, um, get out of here and put some pants on.
I'm glad that I'm in. I am so glad that I am in. I can't wait for people to get in me. Yes.
Goodness. The Manosphere is really in need of some brawn around here. Anyway, next guy, come on, step on up. Who else is trying to get into the Manosphere? Brother, what is your name? And tell us what brings you to the Manosphere.
So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? My name is Jerome. Jerome Blackside. I'm trying to get in this thing. Yeah. What up? What up?
Welcome, Jerome Blackside, to the great Manosphere. So, what brings you here, brother? What is your story?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I've been nothing but loyal to these women, and they've been talking about they leveling up. No, they need to level down to a real player.
So, these women got the nerve to have some sort of standards.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, they're a little bit young, and I'm out here pimping, sinful Pete pimping. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? They're a little bit young, but I'm just trying. Even though they're young, they got these standards, and fuck these bitches. So I need to get a part of a network. We can go ahead and do what we got to do. And I hear that say y'all got some passports to kind of get around the whole youngin thing. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up?
Well, absolutely, brother. We do. We have the passport program where you could get away from these funky black American women with all these insane standards that they shouldn't have because they should be lucky to have black men like us. Brother, what made you decide that you wanted to come here to the Manosphere? What exactly happened to you? What is your story?
Well, I'm talking about I was out here in my Chevy riding up and down the street, you know what I'm saying, with my candy, trying to lure, you know what I'm saying, my next girlfriend. And then, little girl came to me with like tenfold the P, tenfold the predator. Uh, what? Why you keep circling around these block? I'm like, man, I'm trying to put you on this game, little girl. I'm trying to put you on this game. And next thing you know, I got arrested. So I'm trying to understand, why I got arrested. So I need to be part of a network so I can learn how to protect my craft so that when I'm riding up and down these streets, you know what I'm saying, trying to find me, you know what I'm saying, a youngin that I can not be caught up. You know what I'm saying? What up?
You mean to tell me that your bitch got you caught up?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question because this sounds very familiar. Three questions and we'll get you in here, brother Jerome Blackside. Was this bitch black?
Her mama was black, but my girlfriend, her daughter was a little bit black, but her mom was very, very black. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, black enough. Was this woman an American black woman?
Well, I know her mom American. Whenever she gets out of school, I might have to see. I mean, she should be American. I think she was born here. Whenever she gets out of school, whenever she gets out of class, I think she's gonna be, what I'm saying, going to junior high pretty soon. So I'll ask her when she's walking from the elementary to junior high if she's American or not.
Okay. And is she a dark skinned woman?
Well, her mom, what I'm saying, be catching the shade when she in the sun and everything. But I know with my girlfriend, when I be seeing her out there on the playground, I mean, she kind of gets a little bit dark. I guess she's dark enough, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about?
Well, Jerome Blackside, I don't know. We're going to have to put you in the Manosphere in training section for the
Hold on. Hold on. Black side.
well, Jerome, is the woman dark skinned or not?
No, I'm Jerome Blackside. You calling me something else? That ain't me. That ain't me, Playboy. That ain't me.
Jerome Blackside, I don't think you're Manosphere material. You seem like you might be into these black bitches a little bit too much.
Hold up. I tell you what, man. You gotta let me understand, man. I got these cheeseburgers. I'll suck your dick, man. Let me in, baby. Let me in. Come on, man.
Well, mm, since you put it that way, if you suck everybody's dick in the Manosphere, we might let you in, Jerome. But you gotta spit and swallow.
All right, BJ's all up and down these chat rooms. Kevin Samuels, where you at? Hey,
All right, y'all. All right. We stop fooling around here. We gonna stop fooling around here. But yeah, that's the criteria. As long as you hate black women, as long as you hate American black women, and as long as it's a dark skinned black woman, especially dark skinned bitches, you can be part of the manosphere and part of the he man woman haters group. And it's groups like these. I'm not saying manosphere is just one group, and I consider it a hate group, but it's just one group of many that's kicking off this great bomb rebellion that I've been trying to tell you all about. These bombs have gotten together and they form forces like Voltron, and they uphold each other in their bummy behavior. So if you do not fit this description of bomb, do not come windmilling on my videos and in my comment section for these bombs. I'm talking about bombs. These guys that have failed in life. And now they're taken to the internet and they crying, or they want to go knocking black women upside the head and hurting them and doing all manners of crazy stuff. I'm talking about the great bomb rebellion going on here. And there's a lot of bombs out there. Lots of them. And the thing about it is, we're so busy trying to uphold our images as black men and black women that we're not mindful that we are protecting those that do not need to be protected. Don't lose sight of that. So if someone is calling out degenerate behavior in the community, don't sit up here pumping your pro-black fist talking about, oh, the white man, you're trying to explain away the degenerate behavior. No, this is something that we should be shunning on a massive level. I remember a while back, Jason Black spoke about
intelligent black society. And he's absolutely right. If we want to get anything done, intelligent thinking black people need to team up with other intelligent black people. Because the bombs, they have gotten together and formed their groups. They have gotten together and they actually have a support community for one another. It's places called like the Manosphere where they can go run and hide and do their degenerate behavior. And other black men will sit up and make excuses for them. This is what I've been pounding on and talking about this entire time. I am verbal said, child, what the hell's happened? I've been running errands all day. No, I am verbal. I'm just responding to the so-called decent black men that always want to come running up windmilling when I'm clearly talking about bums. Now, I would be bad. Would I be wrong if I say let the shoe, if the shoe fits, wear it? Would I be wrong if I said that? Hit dogs, holla. Would I be wrong if I said that? But at any rate, I don't want to hog the mic too long. We're going to open the panel up in just a minute. If you guys want to have more fun with the skits that we did, we could do more of those. But CK, did you have anything that you wanted to add at this time?
Is it okay if I kind of talk about the story, or is it after the monologue?
Yeah, I'm done. You could talk about the story. Absolutely.
Okay. You want me to open the panel now, or you want me to wait?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and drop the link. So anybody wanting to come up and have their say on this topic, you are welcome. And if anybody wants to windmill for the bombs, you're welcome.
So the link to the panel has been dropped down. Open panel, open panel. So the main story that kind of has a part two, the Bum Rebellion. And, shout out to Faith Factor for having a massive stream last night. I look forward to part two right now. So a Harlem woman fatally shot after confronting man who groped her on the street. A Harlem mom was fatally shot after she and her fiance confronted a man who had just groped her on the street. All right, so Deidre, welcome to the panel. All right, so he's up there.
What's up?
I'll just finish the story. Hey, what's going on? I'm gonna finish the story, and then so we can go ahead and tackle everything. So Harlem mom was fatally shot after she and her fiance confronted a man who had just groped her on the street. Police said Monday, yesterday, as they pressed their search for the gunman. Shadina Smith, a black woman, left her apartment on near Frederick Douglass Boulevard. This is in New York. And then rushed back to tell her boyfriend that a man had grabbed her. The 26-year-old fiance and Smith, 29, went outside and confronted the groper, sparking an argument that led to gunfire. The couple was caught in a hail of bullets inside the first floor hallway of their apartment building. The fiance was hit in the chest and left arm, and Smith was struck 3 times in the chest. Both were taken to the Harlem hospital where Smith died. Her fiance has since been released from the hospital. Detectives found shell casings outside the building, leading them to believe that the gunman fired from outside the building. He has not been caught. And that is the story.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing that article with us, Brother CommendableK. I want to welcome Deidre and Sister I Am Verbal to the stream. What's going on, Deidre? I Am Verbal.
What's going on?
Hello.
Faith, you the master. You becoming the master of these role plays.
Man, she just gave me a bunch of. I mean, she just gave me an amazing. I was about to go. I was thinking about going live for my my roastathon because I said I'm gonna start doing roastathons on these foods. I mean, here's the thing. Faith, and the brothers on the panel. Hello, good evening. How are you, brothers? At this point, for me, and I used to get really mad. I used to get so triggered. I used to get upset, and everybody knows how I can be on a panel. When I get triggered, it is what it is. I don't apologize for it. It's me, and I embrace it. Okay, it is what it is. But I am trying to be a better person in 2021. And so for me, I just gotta laugh at this point. It's so absurd. It's so ridiculous. It's so far out of the realm of reality that how can you actually take this stuff seriously at this point? So now I decided today, I'm just gonna really just laugh. I'm just gonna make fun of them. I'm gonna point and I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna throw my head back while I'm doing it. And the
And
other thing
that,
I'm
you
the
said,
oh no, go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
go ahead. I'm
Lady.
sorry.
no, because that's what I was saying in the chat is that you were talking about having, a coalition, because that's the thing too. And it's so funny you said it, because I've been thinking about this really hard over the past couple of days about how Black men want us to separate them. And that is perfectly fine. I get it and I understand it, because all Black women are not the same. All Black men are not the same. And they want us to say not all, not all, but they want us to say it without them doing the work. And the thing is that the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the oil. So if you allow a group of men to have the loudest voices, they drown you out. So if you really don't want to be lumped in with them, then how about you get together, because it's not going to be one man. We've seen one man here and there. I've seen D. Durrell do it. I've seen even, someone that you don't particularly care for, D. Durrell. You have your own issues with this man, but I've also seen him go and be the lone person speaking against this stuff. But there needs to be men who do not agree with this rhetoric, who decide to get together and create a Black manosphere that has some type of some basis in reality, that is actually going to help Black men. And at some point, y'all are going to have to decide to collect your voices together and say, we're not going to let this trash, these bums, these incels, we're not going to allow them to speak louder than us. It has to evolve into that, or you will get drowned out and we won't be able to see you. And I'm off my soapbox.
I agree. I agree with you. And there have been, I'm gonna say this, there have been some talks offline. I've had several um conversations with several YouTubers in this space and so forth that have had this talk. But the thing about it, no one is organized as far as, you know, as far as creating a name, creating as far as the to create a space, it involves cooperation with several people, as far as us, adhering to a certain talking points, certain, things, values and so forth. And there are people talking about it, but as far as organizing to create a name, say for instance, a group of, let's say, 8 to 10 other content creators, we're going to talk about these particular topics. We're going to have these talking points. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to schedule to make sure that we um, don't collide at the same time as far as time and so forth, where you can have multiple of us joining other platforms, like, you know, within our space. That's what it's going to take to create the space, but it just has not been organized. But I've spoken to at least 3 or 4 people that have been talking about this for like the last, I would say, 8 to 10 months, but nothing never really surfaced. And it's just kind of like you said, like I was doing my thing, somebody else is kind of doing their thing. And then you got those that think they're waiting on something major to happen that's going to cause a big split. It's like they're waiting on a something to happen with some of the bigger YouTubers or the more popular ones where they fall out. They're waiting on a beef almost, in a sense, There are a bunch of people waiting on some major beef to happen where they're going to have to take sides and then separate. And it's like that's been the nature of the conversation that I have experienced when talking to other guys that don't agree with the type of rhetoric that's um been in this platform. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna go on the record as saying this, even O'Shea don't even want to be here. And I can say it's just from hearing this from his own mouth. There's certain even things here is too extreme for him. A person that even that started at the beginning. And I know O'Shea's content is more comedic and so forth, but there's a lot of shit that he don't even agree with. And he don't even want to be a part of. And he's trying to, dip into other different sectors. So I find that's the issue is like getting guys to say, okay, we're gonna have um, gather up, we're gonna interact through email or whatever, and we're gonna come up with because that's what happened with the Manosphere. There were basically 3 to 5 guys that got together, decided to create a name, and they decided to have certain talking points. Each one of them was unique in the stuff that they said, and they supported each other's panels and in each other's platform. And so that's the part that's not being done yet. So
What is it
But
that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Faith. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
no, I was just going to say that it seems to me like the group came together out of hatred for one group, though. Like, how can you create a group based off of the hatred of another group? That's just like the KKK. There's no difference in being white supremacists.
exactly, because we really look at it, that was the point I tried to make when I was exploiting, showing everybody SYSBM's tenants. If you listen, when I read the 20, I think it was 21, 22, 23 tenants or something like that. When I read those tenants, if you would have just put, instead of put black woman, just put black, you would have sworn the KKK wrote those tenants. And a lot of these particular online cults, I call them cults, they they mirror a lot of white supremacist type rhetoric. Notice they love the hell out of Donald Trump, which I don't understand. They never talk ill of things that other groups of people do to black people. They particularly in every instance where a black man was shot and killed, you would think this space would be like, man, we got to protect and support this brother. No, they was for the police. They were saying they were demonizing the victim, just like the police would do, or the mainstream media. And you would think, damn, YouTube is supposed to be more of a alternative, and they were mirroring the same talking points as ABC, CBS, CNN. Exactly.
Well, because they seem to actually have this desire that they don't want to admit to actually want to be white men. I mean,
Ex-
I just call it how I see it, and that's what I see, and that's what it feels like. So these men running around on this platform talking about they're for black men and boys, you're
They're
not.
not for boys.
You're not.
How can you be for boys, and those are the same people who were roasting me, trying to roast me for supporting Umar Johnson for trying to build a school? That they're not, that matter of fact, they never talk about the development of young boys from the time they're in kindergarten to 12th grade. I've actually sat on Prophet of Thought series debating people on why the issues that hinder young black boys from developing into productive young men. You know what that answer was? It's feminism. It's feminism. It's feminism, man. It's the feminism. I'm like, are you kidding me? No, it's not. Feminism does not have a stronghold in hindering young black boys. It's us. Really, it's black men. Young black men not mentoring and not taking care and raising their own sons. That's the problem. And and and
Yeah.
and the statistics show that. And it hurts it hurts young girls too. Because
Yes, it does.
they're like 5 times more likely to get raped or get molested and so on.
Or to get into these terrible relationships with men who abuse them and don't love them properly because they have not been modeled that
Yeah. And
as
they're more
as little
and
girls.
yeah, and they're 3 times more likely to get pregnant as a teenager
Yeah.
due to that. So like matter of fact the it was a guy. He doesn't do content, but matter of fact he was actually a guy that I would talk to that I met in O'Shea's platform, and he does like editing and different things like that. Um, and we had a talk about that. He's from California. We had talked about this very thing about these. We got to split. We got to split the guys who are about family, who are about showing respect to black women, who are about marriage. Who ain't about all this foolish, goofy stuff that these guys talk about. We need to separate. Like, we really, really need to get away from these guys, because what we're finding is that we getting on panels and they try to make the person that's the most reasonable sound as if they're stupid.
Yeah.
and,
That's what
and
it,
it's
that's
Yeah.
what I've
and it's
done. They do. I've seen
it's
it time and
crazy.
time again.
And it's crazy. It's to the point now that the professionalism that I was once given is done. I'm gonna act a Negro now. I'm like,
Right.
I don't care. I'm serious.
Right.
You know what, D? I said the same thing. As I was like, when you try to be fair and balanced, it doesn't work.
No,
It
It
doesn't
really
work.
does.
It doesn't
no.
work.
You
This is
gotta act
why
it.
I behave the way that I do sometimes when some dusty bum is trying to come at me on a panel for my basic opinion. I don't come for anybody first. I don't. I state my opinion. I say how I feel. I talk about self-love and they hate that. They hate that. They hate that I am not
They,
up here
th-
trying to gargle their balls, seeking their validation. They hate the fact that I do not need it, and then I am attacked. I'm always attacked.
these men, a lot of those guys do not know how to talk to women. They don't know how to treat women, and they are very intimidated by intelligent black women. They are very intimidated by that, and they actually think that black women should not have a brain. They actually think that you shouldn't dare question anything. And the thing
I
about it,
know.
and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I got 2 young daughters. You think I'm gonna
Right.
teach my daughters? But they're young women, they're in their early 20s now. But you think I raised my daughters to not think for themselves and
Yeah.
just to fall in line with some bullshit that you leading her in the wrong direction without her making her own decisions, whether she want, that's actually what they want. And,
And
and, and
I heard you, Dita Rail. I don't know if it was the panel Faith had last night. I don't know if it was this morning or last night. It's kind of blurry and everything, but it was last night or this morning I was watching. And you were giving pushback to Air Black TV, who was basically saying exactly what you're saying now. Oh,
yes,
women like we are absolute zombies or mannequins who don't have any type of brain or direction, cannot feed ourselves. We don't know how to use a spoon and fork without a man being there to tell us. It's so insulting. You're not a woman, but if you could even attempt to imagine the insult that we are blasted with every day on this platform, and then y'all wonder why we see black men on this platform in particular the way we do.
man,
It's absolutely insulting and disgusting.
it
I
is.
have, for the most part, I mean, for the majority of the men that I have dated and been in relationships, I have been the smarter one. And the thing is that women are so smart, so intelligent, so resourceful. We have a real valid reason for being here and being given to men as their counterpart. So for the people who believe in the Bible, because they love to quote all of that stuff, but they forget the part where Man was made first. They love that, and they beat their chest. Oh, man was made first. But see, what happened was when the Most High, regardless of what you believe, I'm just talking about what the Bible, what the Bible actually says. You don't have to believe it or not. I'm just saying facts. When the Most High made Adam, the Most High looked at Adam and said, he's not complete. Things are not finished. Something is missing. And what he did was he made woman and gave woman to man. And when he did that, then everything was done and complete. He didn't make anything extra after he made woman. So to think that a woman needs you, when in actuality the Lord said that you need us, is like, what are we doing here? Like, let's just, I mean, I just get, I don't know. This is why I just have to laugh and roast, and this is what I think I'll be doing, because I get frustrated. I get frustrated with it. I do.
It is. It's very frustrating, because I sit here and I look at my daughters. My daughters are sitting up here. They're getting their lives together. They're doing the best they can to put their best foot forward as women. And the men that they have to choose from out here is ridiculous. And I'm sitting up here like, okay, you're not having to choose from this bunch alone. And this is why a lot of the younger generation of Black women, they're starting to expand their options. And I'm not just saying just to, non-Black men, but they're dating men of other cultures, because they're just not getting everything that they need right here. There's a disconnect going on right here, where there's a quite a few, good ones, but then you have to go through a lot of the bad ones just to get to those. And then the good ones, you're usually cleaving on and fighting over the good ones with at least 5 or 6 others. It's ridiculous.
And the thing about the quote unquote good ones, they know that they are in high demand. And so a lot of times what happens with these so-called good ones is because they know they're in high demand, because they know that, there's just too many Black men who are just not dateable at all. They come with this arrogance, and this idea that they are some sort of prize. You have to get on your knees and worship him and be grateful and thankful. This shit is just so out of whack. It's unbelievable. It really is.
And the thing about it, when you really dig deep into these guys, you find out most of these guys live with their parents. they lie they lie so much about what they claim they have and what they're doing. These guys live with their parents, they live alone, they don't have any education, no skills. I mean, there are guys that I know that are YouTubers that they're doing horrible. You would, and there are actually some popular YouTubers that are in that sect that are doing horrible in real life. I'm talking horrible. And they would be and they come off as being some of the most confident. You think they got it together. Like, they got one YouTuber who talks all about all types of going across seas, passports. He got on me for calling foreign women dirty feet bitches and different things like that. They got mad at me they actually got mad at me because I was saying the same stuff about foreign women that they were saying about Black women in America.
American Black. Well, I was there. I know exactly what kind you're
But
talking about.
see,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
D. Darrell, that's the reason why CommendableK and I did the parody that we did. Because the only thing that's needed is she's got to be Black, she's got to be American, and she got to be dark skinned.
Exactly.
And wait a minute, where is CK? CK, are you still there? CK done went to sleep.
Yeah, I was letting y'all. I was letting y'all, talk or whatever with y'all's conversation, because before we get into the story, get back to the story. So I'll let y'all go ahead and wrap up, and then I'll read the story again in case any new people came in, and we can kind of talk about the story.
Oh, so, yeah, that's right.
Go ahead.
Okay, there's a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead, Faith. I'm sorry.
No, I had totally forgotten about the story, because I had CK read that story for a reason, because this is yet again another black woman in New York, guys. I don't know what's going on with New York, but she was gunned down because a black man groped her, and she ran into the building to, tell her boyfriend that she was attacked. I think it was her boyfriend or her fiance, and her fiance and herself, they went out to confront the guy, and the guy ended up shooting both of them. The fiance, he survived, but the young lady, she was killed.
Damn, that's horrible.
Yeah. And see, this is what I was talking about as far as there being a bum rebellion. These guys have had access to black women's bodies and our resources for so long that they feel entitled. They don't feel like they have to ask permission or anything. And so now you see a lot of black women rebelling and saying no, and wanting to hold these guys accountable, and they're angry and lashing back.
Wow.
What is happening in New York? Like, what is actually happening? I'm at the point where I have to give my daughters, in particular, my early 20s daughter. She's got mace. We're gonna have to go to the gun range soon because she's gonna have to even arm up even further. I have to. It's basically almost a daily conversation about her being careful. And she's very petite, she's very small, and she's very beautiful. And you know how young people are, they think nothing's going to happen to them. And we're in Cali, that's not really anything that's actually really happening here to make the news. But I don't know what's going on in New York. But the thing is that it's just a microcosm, of what is actually happening. It feels like an extreme attack on Black women. And as a mother of daughters, I'm terrified. And I will tell you this, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to protect my daughters and myself. And I don't care who I have to put down to do it. And that is a promise and a fact.
Well, I've been hypothesized. I'm going to predict. I'm going to make a prediction because there are more Black women leveling up. There are more Black women so-called choosing better. And with this phenomenon happening, trust and believe you're going to see more stories like this. I wanted to read a comment from Me because she says that there's another Black woman in New York who got beat up in the hallway, smacked and pushed down, while other men watched this man beat her and just laugh about it. This kind of event seems to be taking place daily.
Wow, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. That's sad.
It's not even, it's so much more than sad. It's so much more than sad. I mean, I don't know what they want. It seems like they want an all-out war with Black women. And I'm going to tell you like this, like Black women have advanced in so many ways and Black women have surpassed in so many ways, not to outdo anyone, but just to do what they need to do to have a better life. I guarantee you, you're not going to win this war, bums. You're not going to win this war because not only will Black women be armed and ready to shoot between the eyes, Black women are going to have the government backing them. And that's just a fact. It's coming. Keep it up because it's coming.
It's coming because I'm starting to see now where Black women are going to need to help each other get our gun licenses, self-defense courses, talk about other methods to protect ourselves. And yes, if needed, we will need to get legal aid to help back us as well. Because this phenomenon, we can't just be walking around here unprotected, legally and physically. And people are sitting up here already gaslighting, saying that it's not as widespread as you think. But I know plenty of Black women with stories like this. It's just that it went unreported. Now, contrary to popular belief, we really don't report a lot of the things that happen to us.
Facts, absolutely.
Because I remember when I was in my 20s, I was walking home from work. I'll never forget, I was wearing a brand new blue jean skirt that I had just bought. It went all the way down to my ankles, but it was form fit. And I was walking past a group of black men. And do you know one of them reached out and grabbed a big chunk of my behind and then
What?
laughed? Yeah.
No, no,
Oh,
no, 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 no. That's common. Every single black woman, I'll tell you, has had that experience. Girl, listen, I know I haven't, and I was a teenager. I wasn't even as old as you were when that happened. Skating in a skating rink with a bunch of people, minding my business. And all of a sudden, my ass was just grabbed. And I didn't even have no ass then, but it was grabbed. And I could not skate fast enough to get him to bump him on the back of his head. And he was laughing, and it was funny. I was a little girl in kindergarten, standing up with my little yellow felt, my little yellow felt short suit or whatever that my mom thought was so cute. And I'm standing there watching the girls double dutch. And these boys are sitting on this bench behind me. And I'm not knowing, I'm just in kindergarten. I'm in kindergarten. And the next thing I know, not only were my pants pulled down, my shorts, but
whoa!
my panties too, to my ankles.
That was
My
sexual.
panties.
That was sexual assault.
And they laughed,
Yes.
and they laughed. And
Yeah, they always laugh.
yeah, I'm way grown, way grown, way, way grown. And I still remember the humiliation. I cried. I remember I was shaking to bend down and pull my pants up, shaking, crying.
And mind you now, I am verbal. These were not decent black men, but these were the bombs. And you can clearly tell the bombs from the decent black men.
Well, these were little boys. These were boys in elementary school who did this to me.
Oh well, they were little kids.
In
Yeah, but
elementary
that's
school.
still that ain't no excuse. They should
Right.
have been raised better than that. They were raised.
Exactly.
They should know better to not to do no
To
shit
do
like that.
something like that.
Yeah, that's
I
ridiculous.
thinking about it right now, I can still feel the humiliation. And I was 5, 6 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah, that was trauma.
Well,
What you experienced.
my me writes that it happened to me recently at a gas station. These men can't take rejection. Instead, they start to attack you verbally. And luckily for me, and other men not black was able to stop the situation.
You know what? It's funny y'all said that because I just had a situation. Um, because I'm actually getting ready to start a domestic violence program for my company, and I'm doing a bunch of trainings and CEUs and different things, training for it and so forth. And in that, we were talking to some guys who um, who have engaged in domestic violence, and many of them would talk about, particularly those that in that like the middle age and so forth. When we talked about how they interacted with as far as dating and stuff like that, a lot of them have issues with accepting someone simply ignoring them or telling them no. Is like, you know, many of them, like, say for instance, they try to just cold call a girl or something like that, cold approach, and either she ignore, or she don't want to be, she's not interested, or whether she was polite about it or not. Many of them talked about the fact that they would, after she would decline, they would start cursing them out, saying "fuck you," then I didn't want you anyway, you wouldn't holler that, or some would get angry enough to to try to force the young lady to talk. They all had stories similar to that, in which when they were trying to meet someone and they rejected them or didn't want to have anything to do with them and so forth, they would take that very personal and would act out, particularly verbally and so forth. And to me, and I actually was saying this, when when I and because I dealt with perpetrators a lot for years, well over 10 years, and a lot of these guys in this space, when you hear them talk about women, they sound almost like domestic violence abusers. And one of the biggest clues that I would see was when certain people would tell me, she kept calling the police on me. She called the police and got me arrested 5 times for nothing. I'm like, nah. I there's been countless times that I have counseled uh, men in a group that have done that they all said they're like, man, she called the police on me and I ain't even do nothing. She was the aggressor. How many times have you heard in this space where they talk about when they got into a domestic violence situation, they always talk about how aggressive and how masculine the female was. And they lying their asses off. They were the aggressor. Just so happened she got to a point just like one lady that I have that comes on my platform, she ended up going to jail behind stabbing a man that abused her. And many of those women, when you put them in a point where they feel it's a life and death situation, eventually they will do something like that. If you've been beating a woman up for years, and then she finally gained the courage to fight back, that's going to happen. You know, and so they'll sit there and don't tell the whole story, but they'll talk about, well, she shouldn't have did this, or she shouldn't have called the police on me, she should have worked it out or just been submissive to me
No,
and listen to
no,
me, but
no,
because I'm the man, you
no,
know.
no, no. Just having a penis, like every man on the planet has a penis, okay, unless he's had some horrible accident. But just having a penis, just like they like to say, just having a vagina doesn't entitle you to anything. A penis is just a penis. Like, what do you mean? I mean, just because you're a man, like that doesn't, what does that mean exactly? You being a man does not dictate how someone's going to treat you. You have to be a person, a man of good character, someone of honor. Because here's the way the submission actually works. Submission is a gift that is given to a man who earns it from the woman who feels that he has earned it from. It is not demanded. It does not need to be demanded because women have an innate desire to defer to her man. It is within our biology to do so. But we
Yes.
are not slaves. We are not robots. We are not here for your fucking abuse. We're not here for it, and we're not going for it from now going forward. The tides are changing. There is absolutely no reason a man who has to demand respect from his woman, who has to put his foot down, who has to use abuse and control to get submission from his woman is not a man who deserves submission, because submission is earned just by who you are as a man and how you carry yourself. It is natural. It is a natural order of things, and a woman will give that to you. Naturally, she won't even realize consciously that she's giving you submission because it will be so natural because of who you are as a man and how you've shown up in her life. So all of this extra, oh,
Facts.
she better, oh, she gotta, no, nigga, that's not how it works. And that's why you're not getting it. That's why, because you're not the man who actually deserves it. So they want to be mad about the level up. Be mad. But why don't you do your own level up? Why don't you figure out how to progress yourself? Because what I see, y'all can say whatever you want to say about those women, but what I see is women who are saying, you know what? I got to do something different, because the things that I have been doing have not brought me the results that I have been desiring. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try something different and see what happens. And people are mad about that. Men are mad about that. And they're putting all of this extra bullshit on top of it. It's not any extra nothing. It's just a woman saying, I want something different, so I'm going to do something different so I can get different results. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. You're insane. So why don't be mad at the level up? They're doing exactly what y'all have been telling them to do for years and years, and now you're mad because you want to dictate everything that a woman does. You want to tell her how to think. You want to tell her what to eat. You want to tell her what to wear. You want to tell her how much makeup to wear, how to wear her hair. God damn it, can we just be fucking human beings just like you?
Go off, verbal. Go
I
off.
mean, what the fuck is going on here? I don't understand this shit. So when y'all get up on platforms, y'all, we're not protecting you. Nigga, we don't expect you to at this point. We know you not. We get it. We see it everywhere, every day. and we hear you, and we are done. Do you understand that? If there is such a change coming, and this shit is about to knock y'all niggas off y'all feet. And I'm not talking about the men on this panel. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's about to knock them off their feet.
We're talking about the bombs.
The bombs.
The bombs.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it. You can go out there and rage. You can go out there and try to bite people's eyes out. You're going to bite the wrong person one day, and you ain't ever going to bite another finger never again. That's what's going to happen to you. I see what's coming. Y'all better get ready. Because you keep this bullshit up, you're gonna be missing a whole lot of knuckers up in this piece. You understand me? And I'm telling my daughters to put them down. Period. Put them down in the dirt.
In the dust.
I don't
6
care.
feet under. Yes.
That's right. And then wipe off their Manolos afterwards. I don't give a damn, Faith. I don't care anymore. I came to this platform caring. I hear what I hear and I see what I see. And I hear Black men who are good and decent, who don't agree, but they're quiet. They too fucking quiet. So this is what you get, because your silence means acquiescence. That's what it means. So you won't get lumped into all the rest of them.
Silence is betrayal. But I do have a question for the two men on the panel, starting with CK, because he's been quiet over there. But when you guys do deal with women, because you guys are upstanding men, do you deal with a lot of rejection? And if you do, I mean, how have you dealt with the rejection? Because I think men need to understand the correct way to deal with rejection versus the way that they're doing it now.
The beginning part of your statement bored a little bit. You mind repeating it? But this is just a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. How do you
And she bored out.
Yeah, she barked again.
I think she asked, how do you deal with rejection?
Okay. Is that how do you deal with rejection? Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for me, it's one of those things where you just have to kind of focus on what you want, and when you don't get it, you kind of do a after action review, as we did in the Army, and you figure out, like, what did I do wrong, what was in my control, and what can I do next time. And it's all about continuing on building up resiliency until you finally get a yes. So it's not internalizing the rejection, but trying to learn from what you can, discard what you can't, because there's constants and variables, and the constants are something that you can't really do anything about it. You know, if you approach a woman, and let's say if she's like, I'm not into black women, and I'm not into black men, and she's black herself, it is what it is. She's just not into black men. That's a constant. You can't change that. Or if a woman's like, well, you know, you seem nice and everything, but you're a little bit overweight than what I would like to deal with. Well, that's a constant. You can't change that. But a variable might be something such as, I appreciate you approaching me, but when you came to me, it seemed like you were a little bit aggressive. I didn't like that. So that's a variable, and that's something I can change. So it's all about figuring out what the constants and variables are, trying to figure out what I can change for next time, and continue, try again, as opposed to internalizing it and trying to be upset with her because she didn't choose me.
Okay, outstanding. D. Darrell, what would you counsel black men? How would you counsel them to deal with rejection? Because it seems as if there's an issue going on with black men and dealing with rejection.
Well, when dealing with rejection, what I attempt to do is get guys to understand what dating and interacting, the whole nature of dealing with females, or just that whole interaction and the whole nature of dating itself. We kind of probe the whole um environment of that, the whole nature, the context of you meeting somebody, having confidence. And to me, men who reject, to me, it's all about developing confidence, because men who have confidence will not be shaken by the fact that someone turned them down. Matter of fact,
Facts.
men with confidence are going to understand that you will get rejections and so forth. And so I think it's a matter of working on your impulse control. Some of these guys that do that actually have anger management issues and so on. And they probably seen other men, they're modeling the behavior of other men that treated women that way, that they have seen, whether it's their father, uncle, grandfather, and other men in their community. I mean, we're the only community. Notice this: the black community is the only community that uplifts a pimp.
Facts.
The
No,
only
that's true.
community, the only
That's true.
community that uplifts every type of man that disrespects women. Notice that.
And you know what, D. Durrell? It's not just men who do it. Women go along with that too. So I
Exactly.
have smoke for men and I got smoke for women too, because women are perpetuating this. Women need to walk away from this stuff. They really, really do. They need to say, no, I don't like that. I don't like that song. That rap song is degrading, whether that rap song is coming from women or men. You know what I mean? So women, there is no thing where it's like, oh, black women have nothing no way to no nothing to do to better ourselves and to correct ourselves. We do need to correct ourselves in the ways that we respond to certain things and what we also support as black women. But that is also a psychological problem with black
Yes.
women and the way black women have been trained and raised. I was
Mm-hmm.
listening to a song today by Betty Wright. Y'all heard that song No Pain, No Gain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard it.
Now that song is very catchy. It's a beautiful song. I mean, you'll sit, you'll pop to it, you'll snap your fingers. That is the song, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the things that if you listen to the words of that song, it is a baby boomer perspective or older, but basically a baby boomer perspective where um, a woman should get her validation from a man, and basically to have a man you need to put up with all kinds of things. She says in a part of that song, she says that a little bit of pleasure is worth a whole lot of pain. Can you believe that shit?
You know what? Now you're gonna make me go back and listen to that song.
That's
Listen to
exactly
that
what
song and
that
listen
is
to the
true
lyrics.
though.
And
It
there's
is.
another, and then she comes back with a follow up to the song called After the Pain. And she's talking to the people, to the women and everything. And she said, what I've learned, because I was listening to it today and I was really listening. She said, what I've learned, go back and listen to it. What I've learned is that a piece of a man is
It's
better than
better
having
than
no
no
man
man
at
at
all.
all.
That's what she
Exactly.
said. And that is the message that was being given to our young black girls as children.
But you know what, Verbal? That's what I was saying yesterday. The big mama mentality. That is what was given down to the boomers, and that's what the boomers passed down to Generation X. But Generation X, it wasn't having it. Now Generation X says, forget that. There's too much pain going on. We're
Yeah,
gonna do something different, and we're gonna teach something different. So
absolutely.
that's why I said Big Mama and her mentality, that's gone. And that's the reason why a lot of these guys are mad.
Yeah.
They're mad because now the Generation X, what they call it, gold digging mamas. They sitting up here putting these girls on game for real.
On
And
gang. We
on
are putting our
game.
millennials on gang. And the Gen Xers, please, the Gen Xers are surpassing these millennials. Not the Gen Xers, the Gen Zers. Listen,
Yes.
you be around some Gen Zers, and I got two of them. They are not having it. Y'all don't understand. I see their friends, all races. My daughters are friends of all races, especially my younger daughter, because of the school she goes to. These girls aren't having that shit. They're not sitting around looking and waiting and thinking some man is going to save them. They're not concerned with that. These Gen Zers are not having it. And y'all going to be in for a world of trouble and hurt thinking that this is about to go on. Faith. And that's the thing, too, is about the whole baby. I'm very, very fortunate. My mother is baby boomer generation, but my mother told me, I remember her telling me, and that's why it stood out so much to me when I heard Betty Wright say this in this song, that a piece of a man, I remember my mom specifically telling me, a piece of a man is not better than no man at all. You are worthy. You validate you. You are better than no man at all. You don't never accept or take no piece of a man. My mother was not having that at all.
Well, let me ask you something, because now, what do you think is going to happen if these bombs cannot get access to regular women? What do you think they're going to do next?
I think they're going to implode. But here's the thing, though. They can implode if they want to, but nothing lasts forever. So they can implode, they can throw all the tantrums they want to, they can do all the stuff. But the more they wrap this shit up, the more the hammer's gonna come down harder in their head. And y'all complain about black men in jail now? You think this government don't love you? You already know that. They already looking for any reason to put you in jail. And
Yes.
if they could get rid of all of y'all, that's exactly what the hell they're gonna do. And all you're doing is helping them. So keep it up if you want. That's what I think. Keep it up if you want to, because they live in a delusion. They live in cyber reality, which is not reality at all. And they're listening to these old ass men who have given up on life, who have missed their opportunity, who are mad and resentful from some stuff that happened to them in high school. And they are trying to turn the minds of these young men who aren't even really trying to do all of that. They're just trying to be happy. And these jealous old ass niggas with big ass bellies and gout are running around trying to deter these younger black men from living the life they're supposed to live. And let me just say this, it will backfire in their face. This manosphere is going to backfire. It is backfiring, and things sometimes don't go as fast as we would like them to go. But if you are paying attention, the tide is turning. That's what's happening. And that's why they're mad, because they feel it. They see it. So they can do whatever the hell they want to do. It's only going to make black women arm themselves more. It's only going to turn more black women against them, regardless of the age. And you're just going to see a whole lot more dating out. That's what you're going to see. So they can continue if they want to. I'm going to point and laugh. That's how I feel about it. Man, let them eat cake.
Okay, so Sir Senior 00 asks a question. Who are these bombs? I'm gonna answer the question, but I want to start off with CK. CK, did you want to answer Sir Senior's question? He's asking, who are these bombs?
So the bums are basically men and women who can't get anything by legal, moral, and ethical means, and they choose to force themselves into a situation. Kind of like in the story, I like to get back to the story when y'all are done. But in the story, there's a man who groped a woman, and when you think about it, that's sexual assault. So he wanted something, and instead of him working for it or earning it, he just had to take it. So the bums are basically people who are draining on society, and they are embracing criminality to get what they want, and they basically are sticking up the place. So bums come in all shapes and sizes, all races, all different types.
Outstanding. And D. Darrell, did you want to answer Sir Senior's question? He's asking, who are these bombs?
These I'm just going to add on because I do agree with everything that CK was saying. When I look at the bums, I look at guys who are mentally weak. They're unproductive. They have tunnel vision. They're not people. They're people who complain and don't try to solve. Don't They're not solution orientated, and because they feel powerless because of their lack of doing things that and so forth, they basically use tools such as social media and so forth to air out their frustrations instead of not trying to look within themselves to change. They think that everybody around them should change. So that's who I consider the bums.
Outstanding. I am verbal. Did you want to answer Sir Senior's question? He asked, who are these bombs?
I mean, yeah, everything the two brothers mentioned, absolutely correct. But honestly, if you really want to know, all you have to do is it's a quick Google search. It's a quick YouTube video. It's on the news. You know exactly who they are. So I think that question actually for me is disingenuous, and it sounds more like what you're saying is not all. And I'm tired of the not all argument. If you're not them, then what you do is you separate yourself from them. That's what you do. If you don't know the difference from a good, decent man with character and a bum, I don't know how much I can help you with that question. So that's my answer.
Exactly. The key word bomb, bombs have no character, as I am verbal pointed out. And these are usually the non-character having people that go around, they sit around all day with no type of purpose in life. They're the ones that's hanging outside the gas station, hanging on the corner. They're the ones that's laying up on their mother's, grandmother's, girlfriend, whoever sofa, not trying to get a job, smoking weed all day. These are the bums. These are the bums that are out in the community selling drugs to the people in the community. These are the bums. These are the people that are doing home invasions. These are the people that are preying on little children. There was a story that CK pulled up where a young girl, 15, met a predatory male online in his 20s in the park. She went to his house. And of course, when she got in there, this bum decided to take advantage of her, push her down, and rape her. The girl
Man,
immediately went and reported it to the police. But if you want to know who these bombs are, these are who these bombs are. And my question that I asked the men earlier, like, what do you think that these guys are going to do when they can't get access to the women they want? They're going to go to the children. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah,
They're gonna go to the easiest targets.
yeah, absolutely. That's why we have to protect our girls. We have to protect our girls. We have to give our girls the information, even
well,
information
to
that,
be honest with you, they're already doing that because that caused an issue because I already got on their asses about a registered sex offender that's back in the space that they welcomed him with open arms doing interviews and shit.
yep,
So they already that trend is already started.
yeah. It's so sick and disgusting. And the fact that you can't see it or I don't, I just can't. And it is such an extreme embarrassment. It's an embarrassment. And I feel bad for Black men who aren't not who aren't like this because it's embarrassing. Because I know that I get embarrassed. I get contact embarrassment from Black women who do ratchet, raggedy, shitty things who and what they do continues the narrative. You know what I mean? Because let me tell you what we do as a people and white people don't do. White people highlight the best of theirs. They
Yep.
hide the worst of theirs. They don't talk about them. They don't forefront them. They don't put them on a spotlight. They're not on YouTube talking about the worst of them, the dregs of because they got them. They have got just as much dregs of their society as we do. Do not get it twisted. Those are some crazy mofos. You understand me? There are some raggedy mofos. They got problems. They just don't highlight their problems. They highlight the best of them. What we do is we dig on World Star. That's what we do. We dig on World Star and highlight the worst of us. And then we turn around and say, this is us. That's what we do. The people who do what the dregs of our society, our community do, are the minority of us. That's what I truly believe. But we like to highlight the worst of us because we feel so inferior to that pale face that we want to differentiate ourselves from the worst of us. So we highlight the worst of us in order to say, I'm not like them, and give me a pat on the head, white man, white woman. That's what we do. We have a problem.
Amen.
Truth.
But I'm gonna start winding it down, guys, because I'm getting ready to go into a service area where my signal's gonna cut completely off, and I hate when that happens because it messes with the quality of the stream. But I do want to ask
Right?
if anyone has any final thoughts. Who wants to go first? I am verbal. Would you like to go first with your final thoughts?
No, I think I've basically said everything I need to say. I'm very frustrated, and that's why I say I'm like, okay, let me just laugh at this stuff because I mean, there's what can I do? I'm just one voice, and sometimes I feel like one voice. And as women, we have a lot of voices of women who are speaking out on this, but then we have this infighting and this because we have these personal issues with people, or we create or fabricate this, we're going to negate their movement instead of banding with their movement, even though there are certain things about their movement we might not agree with, but we cannot seem to take the underlying message of the movement. And so it's very frustrating for me because I see the whole picture. I see it all. And all these Black women are kind of saying the same thing. They just pick and pick and pick at each other. I don't know what that is. And then my thing again is I've really been thinking very hard about Black men who don't want to be associated and how much louder your voices are going to have to be, and how, listen, it takes one man sometimes. It takes one man to be tenacious. It takes one man to put aside his differences and to understand where he can agree with another man on something, even when they have other fundamental differences. But if there's something you could agree with to try to change the view of Black men in this society, then those are the things I think that Black men need to focus on. We're all going to have differences. Me and Faith don't agree with everything, but she is a Black woman. I love her as such, and I'm not going to go against her. We might have our disagreements, but I'm not going to go against her because I understand that she has a basic desire for the upliftment of Black women. And I think that Black men who really feel that way need to get over your petty differences and band together to make a louder collective voice so that the women will support. And you all know that the women are the biggest supporters. We will support. We just need to see the leadership. We need to see it. So let us see it so we can get on board and make your voices louder. And that's all I'm going to say. Thank you, Faith, for allowing me on your panel. It was a great discussion. And I'm going to mute.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I am verbal. Please do come again. And yes, you do not have to agree on everything in order to come together for a common goal. Those are great takeaways. All right, brother D. Darrell, any final thoughts?
Yes, I'm just gonna say that I think that this was a great, very great live. I thought it was very creative. I love when you do your role plays and everything. It was funny. You had me um, just laughing. I was crying, but I think that um, it's good to have comedic relief dealing with insanity or seeing insanity, and that's a form of therapy in itself. And I just think that um there's a lot of things. I think this is going to be a year that in 2021 there's a lot of, because of a lot of the crazy stuff that we're seeing. There's I see this as a year that there's going to be a change. Something is going to happen that's going to, quote unquote, cause a separation, and so forth. It's just not happening in the manner that I wish it could happen, where it could be more organized together. Let's make it happen. It seems like everybody's waiting on somebody else to do something, or they're waiting on something to happen. But I think that, as this space has matured into what it has become, it has attracted a lot of undesirables and a lot of just you know, I'm just blank, just just basically weird people, and you know, people who just are of low value, and it's sickening to listen to. You know, I got sick and tired of listening to it, and I've always given pushback to things that were not just simply not true. No matter how much research they claim they can read to validate things and so forth, which they're not really interpreting correctly. But you know, I think that you know there's time for some level of change, and hey, I'm trying to do my little part in it. I hope others can do things, and that the men, I do agree with you all wholeheartedly overall that I think that in that separation we need to have men who can be together as a group, who can voice a louder, equal or louder voice, and that would basically change the narrative. So, but other than that, guys, I appreciate it. It was fun, and I look forward to coming up and joining the panel again whenever you do your next live.
Absolutely, and look forward to also joining D Rail on his channel as well as I Am Verbal. Please subscribe to both of their channels, and I'm gonna go ahead and drop everybody down. Thank you so much for coming. I'm gonna bring it back to me and CK. All right, CK, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up? So definitely subscribe to the Fake Factor and the CommendableK YouTube channels. So I want to use my final thoughts to kind of discuss the story about the Harlem mom. And
Sure.
when I used to investigate sexual assault, one thing that would kind of hinder an investigation is a victim would go to a family member or a friend to tell them about what happened to her, but not the police. So in the story, the Harlem mom went to her fiance about the man who groped her, but not to the law, not for law enforcement. And the guy who they confronted, the groper, he had a firearm and killed her and killed the fiance, and she was injured. Maybe I have it mixed up, not really sure. But the main takeaway is that when it comes to the bums are they're not messing around, and the guy in the story had a firearm. And no matter what the age is, I want to go over the definitions of different types of sexual offenses so that people can get a clear indication on what they're dealing with in case if they're dealing with a bum who may grope them, like the woman in the story. So sexual harassment is where someone uses verbal or innuendos or even nonverbal communication that can be perceived by a victim to be sexual in nature. Then sexual harassment. Sexual assault is where there is contact made from a subject to a victim that the victim perceives to be sexual in nature. Sexual battery is where a subject's body part or inanimate object is inserted into one of the orifices of a victim for sexual gratification. And then sexual coercion is where someone kind of begs or twists your arm or blackmails you into doing some type of sexual, uh, what do you say, any type of sexual thing in nature that is pretty much against your will. And in all four different areas, there's no consent. So the woman was groped and she didn't consent. And she should have went to law enforcement. That's what we need to do in the community. Even if you're on a panel and someone tells you that you're beautiful, if that is offensive to you and you think that it's sexual in nature, you can contact the FBI and let it be known that you were sexually harassed. You might be thinking, well, how can they find out who it is? Well, Google through Gmail and GPS has already doxed everybody who's hiding behind avatars. So the FBI has a way to find people. You just have to work with them and help them build the case and press charges and get justice where justice is well deserved. So, and again, I'm not victim blaming because of what happened to the Harlem mom, but the fact that she was broke, she shouldn't have taken it. Moms are going to want to, intimidate you. They're going to try to force themselves on you. You don't have to take it. You shouldn't take it. Because if you look the other way or say it's no big deal, now that person who victimized you is free to go victimize someone else. And us contacting the police, no matter what the outcome, it creates a paper trail. And even though you might not get justice, one day that person may be stopped and put behind bars, and we have to stop just kind of saying, well, it's no big deal, I don't want to make any waves. Because when you say it's no big deal, you don't want to make any waves, you're almost you're being passive, and that passivity is causing the criminal element to run rampant in the YouTube, in addition to online, in the real world, and more than likely in your home. So if you are experiencing something that is one of those four areas, I am no longer a sexual assault investigator. However, if you want to reach out to me and tell me your story, you can email me at screenlearningcontent@gmail.com, and you can tell me your story. You can be anonymous. However, I think that you should call 911 first and get law enforcement involved before contacting me if you have any questions. Please do not let the bums continue to have and execute their abnormal and deviant behavior, even on panels. Even if you're like, it's no big deal. He's just being flirty and just being nice. He's flirty and nice now, but if you need him or he doxes you and he comes find you, you may be a victim. So definitely keep your head on a swivel. Go forth and do great things. That's all.
All right. Thank you, CK. Outstanding. Good information that CK just shared with us. And definitely, don't be afraid to report any type of crime, no matter how small, because when we start getting into the habit of opening our mouths and reporting these things, it makes the community what? Safer. That's what it does. And you might prevent the same thing from happening to someone else. But I did want to say I enjoyed CK doing the skit with you. And guys, CK is the one that makes these skits funny. I mean, he can morph into any character that he wants. Now, me myself, I'm not that funny, y'all. I'm not funny at all. So, shout out to CK Screen Learning, aka Screen Learning, aka Parkland Media. He really, really, really brought it home for us today. But we wanted to just illustrate to you guys, what it looks like and how ridiculous it looks when these guys get together to trauma bond. That's basically what it is. They're trauma bonding and forming forces like Ultron for their own sick agendas. And it's time that it gets called out. And once again, when we're calling out the bombs, we're not talking about the decent men of society. It should already go without saying that we're referring to bombs. I don't see D. Darrell getting offended. I don't see CommendableK getting offended because they know they're not bombs. The only people that get offended are the who? The bombs. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead. I'm sorry. CK, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to kind of brag on Faith for a second, y'all. Faith does not give herself enough credit. She actually is a genius when it comes to these skits. She and I have talked behind the scenes for hours on different skits that didn't get a chance to come to fruition. But I appreciate the praise, but she is a genius when it comes to skit and content creation. I wish that a lot more people could hear and experience what I've heard and experienced behind the scenes as far as being creative and ultimately being able to combine the art and science of content creation together. So, Faith she's a genius in her own right. She only gives you all maybe like 10% of her skill and her ability with the YouTube channel. So I just want to kind of brag on her for a minute. You know, don't. I definitely think say you should not. I can't. I'm a loss for words, but definitely do not downplay your role and how great the skits are and all these concepts and different stories. Faith is a 24/7 content creator as far as, constantly being on the lookout for different stories, different things. But all of these night rides and morning rides are her creation. She's the brains behind it, the brains and the beauty behind it. I appreciate the accolades, but you definitely deserve more because people do not know how smart you are. And I just want to say that I appreciate you, for giving me a chance. I was basically a nobody in these YouTube streets, and I appreciate you giving me a chance to, co-host with you and to do the dark side of dating, and you come and supporting me on my panels and stuff. I just want to take the time out there. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving me a chance, especially me being a nobody in these streets. And, I look forward to working with you in the future, and I appreciate it. All right, that's all.
All right, guys. Well, that is our time. So it's time for me to go ahead and thank everybody for coming in and supporting us, especially those of you who stay up super late to hear these night rides. You guys are the real MVPs. And with that, I gotta say, peace.